Oh, sorry. That's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. What's up, everybody? I'm Jersey Joe, and you're tuning into the Reaver Common Sense Show. I should have known that one day a week wouldn't last that long. It didn't even last a week. So, what do we hear about? There was so much stuff that I even missed that I wanted to do Friday show that I ain't get done. So, here I am. I'm going to touch on a video real quick that happened actually Sunday before I jump into some other stuff and bounce around as I always do. This is, was it CNN? Let me see something. What the heck is it? A State of the Union. AOC. And you got to pay attention to what this person says. I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying everything I can to be nice on this one. But I really, really want to have a few things to say. So let me share this. All right. And let's play it.
Tax purposes. Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, says that testimony directly led to her office's fraud investigation and this $464 million penalty, this bond Trump has until tomorrow to post. If he does not post that bond, do you think the state of New York and Attorney General James should begin seizing his assets? And are you at all concerned that doing so could actually lend him political support, feeding into his narrative that the deep state and Democrats are out to get him unfairly?
Well, I think Attorney General James has been handling this case with tremendous skill. It's ultimately up to her determination, but it is my belief that all people should be treated equally under the law. And if that seizure of assets would be pursued to any other American, then Donald Trump should be treated the same. As far as the political implications go, I think that what we are dealing with politically is the much larger and much more grave and serious.
Do you know what we're seeing politically? An injustice. This broad, I think she's only repeats what she's told to say. There's no way she could actually. I mean, she says a lot of things, but says nothing at the same time. She's another Camel Toe Harris. I mean, Camille, Vice President Harris. She says a lot without saying anything. But what we are seeing is a political prosecution of the ruling party's opponent. And I was thinking earlier, Democrats need to change their symbol from a jackass donkey. Jackass fits them. to a Wile E. Coyote type character. And Trump needs to change from the elephant to the Roadrunner. Because I think this fits more than those two other symbols. And if I have to explain, I'll explain. Because I had to explain to my wife. She looked at me like I was nuts. Hang on. Let me do. There we go. Still trying to get used to the software. I'm pretty sure most of you understand that analogy. The Democrats are like Wile E. Coyote. As in, he always comes up with these elaborate plans to get the Roadrunner. And the Democrats always have this elaborate plan to get Donald J. Trump. Sorry. And every plan has pretty much fell flat on their face. I've heard it since 2015 when he announced, "Oh, we got him now. We got him now on this. We got him now on that. Oh, he said this. We got him now on this." They have him on how many charges? A lot of them has been dropped now. We'll get into the big fine from New York City. What's going on with that? That's another swing and a miss by the Democrats. But they keep running into that wall after they paint the picture. They keep dropping the rock on their head when they try to drop it on Trump. And all this, just so people aren't misconstruing, I'm not calling for violence. I'm talking about comparing them to a cartoon. This woman's just talking. Politically, all they're doing is making President Donald J. Trump stronger. Since 2015, every time they attack him, whether it's the Republicans attack him, whether it's the Democrats that attack him, his numbers go up. If you look at his original numbers when he announced he was going to run, his original numbers were so friggin' low. I think he had like a 2 or 3% chance of winning the nomination. But they just kept attacking him and making him stronger and stronger and stronger. Well, this broad is going to make an accusation here that is outlandish. I almost think criminal for what she says. She's throwing out, which CNN says they're against, but they're known for it, putting out fake information. The host should have stopped her when she makes this accusation. She hasn't made it yet. So let me get back to the video. It just
pressure of having this judgment against Donald Trump and him being in this degree of debt and the financial pressure.
This degree of debt. They keep thinking, oh, he can't pay. Yeah, he could. And if you look at it, a lot of the companies, the bonds, were not going to put up for the money. They would not put the bonds up. The requirements were too outlandish for even them to put a bond up. It's not Donald J. Trump. He had the money, and as he said today, if he did not win the appeal, he would have put that money up, and he has it. But they keep, oh, he's broke. He's in financial. No, he isn't. It's another false talking point from the left. The left doesn't care about facts. The left doesn't care about anything but what comes out of their lying piece of shit mouth. And this, I'm not talking every single American that is a Democrat. I'm talking these politicians. I know several Democrat, registered Democrats, and I get along with them. A couple of them we can talk. have a difference in opinion and still go on with our lives and be friends. One of my best friends, he's a Democrat. I don't hold it against him. He's been in my show in the past. We've disagreed. We've talked. We've taught each other some things that the other one didn't know. And we walk away, still as friends. And that's what's missing out of this country right now is being able to disagree. But what this waste of oxygen is doing is outright wrong. It's, like I said, it should be criminal.
That he is under and what he is subject to do in order to obtain those assets. I actually think that that there is risk in not seizing these assets and the open window that exists in him trying to secure these funds through other means. We've seen a lot of interesting
seizing the assets. I swear that is something that I think I was taught happened in Russia or Nazi Germany. And they have the balls. The left has the balls to accuse us of fascism. Why? Because somewhere in the definition it says on the right side. Well, it's not just on the right side. The left is the one calling for people to be removed because they have issues, because they know they're going to freaking lose. That's the only thing. They know they're going to lose. They have no defense. They have no argument. They have no platform. My blood pressure, it drives me up a wall. I just, and this one just especially, and trust me, she gets to this in it. Oh.
Transactions happening with Truth Social and other means, and there's a very real risk of political corruption. So again, I respect the Attorney General's discretion here, but I do think that he should be treated.
Let's talk about Truth Social real quick. Yeah, he just netted himself $4 billion from Truth Social because it merged with another company, and now he got stock in it, and it's worth $4 billion. Oh, yeah, the man's broke. You are dumber than dog shit, AOC. Dumber than dog shit.
Treated equally under the law.
Do you think, well, let me put it this way. What do you say to an independent voter or an average voter who looks at what's going on with Donald Trump? You have his assets might be seized tomorrow. You also have the hush money case from the Attorney General.
Yeah, and we're going to get into, hopefully we'll get to it tonight. If his assets were seized today, do you know they would have just made that man even stronger? And that's what they don't get. The only thing they're doing is making the man stronger. Idiots.
The district attorney, Alvin Bragg of New York. You also have the Georgia case about election interference. You also have the special counsel investigation on election interference. You also have the classified documents case down in Florida. That's 5 cases. And to a voter, what do you say to a voter who says, well, that doesn't look like he's being treated equally before the law? That looks like somebody that the government is going after.
Let me remind you, this is also a broad that said that RICO is not a statute. It's a category. I didn't know that when they read charges a category. Because I've seen a lot of mobsters get charged with RICO. Not Rico Suave, RICO. And I'm not knocking bartender, but this woman's claim to fame is being a bartender. And I bet you she got a lot of orders wrong.
Has there ever been a president, Republican or Democrat, that has been subject to this level of criminal charges, indictments, and investigations? This is not about party.
And how many times has he been found guilty of any charges? I know he's been found guilty in 2 civil cases so far. Civil, which has a lower level of Dang it. Drawing a blank on the words. Let me see something. This is going to drive me nuts. Lower level of doubt. Criminal, there can be no doubt that this person is guilty. You can have some doubt that he's guilty and still find him guilty in a civil trial. There's a big difference. Number two, she's missing the point because she's a fucking airhead. Exactly what Tapper, that's Jake Tapper, isn't it? It's been a while since I've had to take a look at any one of these idiots. All the charges that are being pushed against him, all these joke of charges, are showing the political bias being dumped on this poor man. Any other person would have walked away from this, said, nope, not worth it. But this man still continues. He has given up $1 billion business to try to help this country. Walked away from billions of dollars while we have politicians that came in broke and now are worth billions or millions. Let me not get too ridiculous. Millions of dollars off of positions that don't pay that much. So, who's the real criminal? The real criminal is someone like you, AOC, with this crap that you spew from that mouth of yours.
This is not about politics. This is about corruption and criminality. We're talking.
You're right. It is about corruption and criminality. The Democrat corruption and the Democrat criminality. That's what it's about.
About an individual who ordered essentially a terrorist attack.
Right there. Let me play that again.
Terrorist attack on the people who ordered essentially a terrorist attack, corruption and criminality. We're talking about an individual who ordered essentially a terrorist attack,
He's accusing that President Donald J. Trump ordered a terrorist attack. Talking about J6. You know, you dumb fucking broad. It was pretty shitty terrorist attack when it didn't come with fucking weapons of any type.
On the Capitol of the United States in order to retain power. That is
to order to retain power that he handed over with no delay at all. Your talking point is bullshit. There wasn't a second of delay of handing over presidency, was there? No. But we all know, and there was a recent poll, I think it was like 62% of Americans say that there was an illegal election in 2020. That Biden was illegal. 62%. That means there's Democrats going, yep, he cheated. And you want to know how I even go about, in my mind, showing that happened? Because the Democrats keep shoving it and trying to prosecute people for saying it, for words, freedom of speech. They're trying to prosecute people for their opinion. Phone making a bunch of noise. All right, stop yelling at me. I have no idea what's going on for. Because if they didn't cheat, they'd be like, come on. Come on, bring the hearings on. Bring them on. Bring the investigations on. Bring the court cases. Come on. We want them. We want to show our innocence. No, they're going, no. Can't be done. No. Nothing to see here. And what's scary is there is people so fucking brain dead, so gullible, so simply persuaded that they believe this crap. I can't. But for her to accuse him of,
attack on an individual who ordered essentially
you're a fucking moron. Oh. Yes, let me finish playing now. Got like 30 seconds.
terrorist attack on the capital of the United States in order to retain power. That is not about being a Republican. It is not about being a Democrat. It's about being an unethical and individual who is subject and prone to criminality.
She's using words that I don't think she understands the meaning. I don't think she understands the meaning of anything. She needs to go back to grade school.
And unfortunately, this is the state that we're in. And I actually...
This makes me wonder what's in the New York water. Really? With the crap that they elect up there. The crap that they elect. This is what you send to Washington, D.C., New York. These are the representative. Fucking morons.
I actually think that the fact that it's happening in so many places and so many jurisdictions cuts in the face of that. This is not just New York. This is Georgia. This is federal courts as well.
And it's also, how can we say, Democrat-run areas that this shit's going on. I don't know. This country's going to hell in a handbasket, and the Democrats are driving the fucking Looney Tune cars. Let's see. Want to touch on a little other subject that's a little bit different than usual. I've been watching a lot of YouTube. We got rid of cable. Me and the wife did. There's ways of getting your shows on web pages and stuff. A hell of a lot cheaper than what cable is nowadays. But we end up watching a lot of YouTube during the day, especially when there's no shows on. I got watching a channel called What the Hales. And I'm not going to go masterfully into this. I don't want to jump on. It seemed like I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I wanted to touch on it because there's an issue going on here in Florida that's constitutional. So, What the Hales is channel. What they do is they buy storage units. They're known for sometimes finding the people that own the storage unit and giving them back some of the property. The guy that does it's called, his name is Jeremy Hales. And his significant other goes by George on the show. And they're very religious. They're very caring. They're very giving. And they'll buy these and they'll give them back. They just recently did Christmas in the Creek. They live in Otter Creek, Florida. And they did Christmas in the Creek. They went to a toy store. Or a store, I should say. I forget which one it was. I mean, it wasn't your big box. It was a larger company, but it wasn't your Walmarts or anything like that. And they spent, I think it was $30,000, $40,000 buying toys at this one store. They also had, there was fans they put up a P.O. box, said, send in your unwrapped new presents, and people sent in. They had more toys than they know what to do. They opened it up to the county. Then they opened it up anybody in the area that wants to come. Kids were getting to pick out 5 gifts, Christmas gifts. All said and done, I think it was like over $100,000 between the donations and what they spent. It was over 12, 16 hours or something like that. They made sure that everybody that showed up, everybody that was in line, was able to get a gift. Now, he's from Ohio. That's his main residency. He snowbirds down here in Florida. Like I said, I've been watching him for a while. Back before he moved down here to Florida. What's the other day? We're doing these coin pusher videos. And they've come down here and they've went hunting for alligator and I think hunting for shells and all a bunch of different stuff. And there was an issue in the town. They're in a little small rinky-dink. There's like 100 people, 100 registered people there that live there. The mayor, corrupt as hell, or the ex-mayor now, who my opinion is corrupt as hell, who is up to no good. And there was a whole issue with that. But what ended up happening is a fan found out where he bought and essentially bought land across the street. Now, he bought this property to get away. This was him and his significant others' little getaway. They wanted to be in the middle of some of the major areas of Florida, Tallahassee, Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa. Hold on. So they bought, and they're up to like 70 acres now. And this super fan bought across the street. And they've nicknamed her Lynette, as in lying, L-I-E. And John Crook. Those aren't the real names. Those are nicknames. This super fan basically stalks them, harasses. They were putting up signs, unsigned, of course, but there's been proof. And that's for a court to decide, I should say. But Jeremy went back to Ohio, and this nut job sees a video of him talking to the mayor up in Ohio where he lives, and she emails and starts calling the township or village, whatever they call their area up there, and harassing them and threatening them. If you don't cut him off, he's this and he's that. If you don't cut him off, I'm going to let the news and I'm doing this, and just kept harassing him. So he went to Ohio. Well, first he went to Florida, and Florida said basically, no, you can't have a restraining order. There's no violence involved. You can't have a restraining order. Listen, I love Florida. I don't foresee me moving out of Florida. But there's sometimes Florida has some wrong with it. Every state does. So when she went and called into Ohio, it was, okay, time to get Ohio courts involved. And they got a permanent injunction involved in them. Well, what this woman did, Lynette, is then ran to the Florida courts and harassed them till this judge gave in and gave a court date, a hearing. Shit. Getting late. Not that late. I'll be up all night, but damn. Red Bull, 2 coffees before the show. Still finishing the Red Bull. 1 Red Bull earlier. I swear to God, they don't do shit for me. So now he's in this court. And this judge, now she files for the petition for temporary restraining order, and she's representing herself. Jeremy Smart, he hires an attorney. This judge starts acting like her lawyer, starts walking her through everything. And what's worse is every time Jeremy's lawyer went to talk, and I'm jumping over, I'm not giving every minute fact and that. Every time the lawyer would talk, the judge would interrupt. It got to the point that they asked him to step down. Oh, and then what was at the end of the first hearing? The one lawyer says, can we jump out of order here a little bit? We got witnesses, and we don't want to have to bring them back. We don't want them to be, have to be put out of their time and money. It'll take me 15 minutes. Well, the judge flips out. How can you try this case in 15 minutes? Either this judge has Alzheimer's or he's got a major hearing issue. Because for 5 hearings, five different hearings, and they still haven't even got to the case. And then this judge talks and 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 talks. Nonstop. Like he'll talk for 45 minutes before either lawyer gets to talk. Because now Lynette has hired an attorney, which is an old law partner of the judge. The judge and this lawyer are buddies. Now, do you think when he talks, does the judge interrupt? No. The judge is sitting there writing. Okay. Oh, my God. Listen, DeSantis pissed me off during the primaries. But he's still my governor. I like what he's done so far. I wish he would do a couple things, but you don't always get what you want. But he appointed this idiot. And I'd like to ask Governor DeSantis, what the fuck were you thinking when you appointed this moron? Because this guy's a moron. He's one of those, he was a law professor. And I think he should go back. Because those who can, teach. Those who can, do. And he's not doing. Lynette accused, the first hearing, let's get back to that. The judge ordered the lawyer to talk with Lynette, see if they could settle this out of court. Okay. So, the lawyer contacts her. What does she do? She runs, he tried to bribe me. He tried to bribe me. I don't know the conversation. Before I see personalities and everything, I bet the conversation probably went like this. The lawyer going, what's going to take to end this case? Oh, no, you're trying to bribe me. Now, remember, this woman used to be a stripper, and I have no problem with strippers. I love strippers. I used to frequent the strip bars all the time back in my youth. I got friends that are strippers. I have no problem. But it's funny because she's also now an ordained minister. If you check out it. I mean, her stepdaughters, because the woman's 61 years old. She's got a 4-year-old in her possessions, which I'm that little girl. I feel sorry for it. There's a lot. Check out What the Hales. What the HALES. It's. But back to, so now his attorney is accused of bribery. He had to get a new lawyer. And so the judge then issues a temporary restraining order on Jeremy Hales because of what Lynette is accusing his lawyer of doing. Jeremy Hales can't even drive down his street. He has to take a long way around and go out onto Route 19. Anybody on the west coast of Florida knows Route 19 is dangerous as hell. There's a lot of accident on the whole stretch, not just up there. The whole stretch 19 is dangerous. And again, there's a lot of highways and roadways. Jeremy's lost access to all his guns. He had to turn them in. His significant other cannot have guns. He used to hire for events security. He cannot hire them anymore. He's blocked from parts of his property because the only way to access the property is go out onto the public road to go in through certain gates that are within a 500 feet radius from Lynette's property. He can't get to it from inside the property because it's heavily wood with overbrush and all that. So the only way to get to it, he has to go back out onto the road and go in through that way. He can't access his property, and the judge is forbidding him basically from accessing his property. He's telling him that he can't talk about anything, and that if his fans talk about it, he's going to hold Jeremy liable for fans talking about her. This judge, he needs to go back to lawsuit, not teach. He needs to go back through law school. He needs to take the constitutional classes again. It just... And this woman, oh my God. All right. Let me see if I can find something real quick, because I got to play this for you. It's just... Her deposition is... All right. I wasn't going to do this, but I got to play this because this is, oh my God, too goddamn funny. Playlist. Oh. Nope, that's not it. What I might do is play the audio from the Ohio court hearing. Trying to remember which one it was in. Might have to save it for the next show. I don't have it with me, but let me play. All right, this is how dumb this woman is. In the middle of a hearing, now she's allowed to do it through Zoom because she's in Florida, the case is in Ohio, the judge being a little sympathetic. She calls the fucking sheriffs and starts complaining in the middle of a case. All right. Let me see something. I'm trying to... All right. All right, let me just...
Stop talking.
The Ohio judge has found both Lynette and John Crook guilty. Civil protection orders have been given against them, but they have violated them multiple times, many times. And now we're going to jump into the January 10th, 2024 contempt of court hearing with Lynette.
Ms. Preston, we have had some technology difficulties here today. We are making it work to the best of our abilities. You should see on the screen counsel Mr. Heller as well as his client Mr. Hales. Can you see them? Yes. Okay. So we are going to make sure that we keep our...
All right, I'm going to fast forward it
nice
just a
and
little bit.
loud, so that we get requested continuance, correct?
Do you really want her voice that loud?
Did you request a continuance in writing prior to today's date?
I have been calling, asking how to do that, and the women that answer say we are not allowed to give you that information.
Okay, so the answer is no, you did not request a continuance, correct?
No, I did not, because we don't know how.
Okay. When the case was heard previously, You had communicated with the court. You had sent documents in via Federal Express, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We just got this. We were not given any evidence against us. It was vague. It said violated multiple times. That's all it said.
Okay.
Nothing that says what you're accused of.
Okay. And you have not requested any discovery, correct?
I have not. I do not have an attorney. I need a continuance to get the evidence, look it over, and make my defense, and have time to possibly look for an attorney.
All right. Hold on, please. Hold on. Stop talking for a minute, please. I'm just working on more technology issues. I apologize if I was rude to tell you to stop talking, but I want to make sure that we get everything on the record nice and clear, okay? Ms. Preston, if you can say something again for me.
I asked for where I could find the form to fill out for a motion, and I was told they're not going to tell me where to find it.
Okay. And but the long and short of it is you did not request a continuance in writing prior to today's date, correct?
No, I did not. I called in. They told me I had to do it now, in the hearing.
Who told you? Who told you that?
Whoever answers your phone.
In my office.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you did not file a written motion for continuance?
No, I did not. She said ask for it now.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Okay. Does that conclude what you need to say right now, Ms. Preston?
Your Honor, I'm opposed to a continuance in this matter. This has been filed since December 8th. She was served by process server as well as by regular mail. In addition to that, Mr. Hales flew up from Otter Creek, Florida to be here in person, so he has gone to great expense. And also risked flying in quite severe weather to make sure he was here because this is important to him. To continue it now at this juncture without anything written or filed, I think is a way to waste Mr. Hale's resources and time, as well as to just allow respondent to continue with the behavior that's been unacceptable unto this point.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, Mr. Heller, when was that personal service accomplished? Do you have that information?
Let me see.
What we got in a minute.
Hold on, ma'am. I've asked Mr. Heller. All right, Ms. Preston, I'll ask you why Mr. Heller is looking. Do you know what date you were served with notice of this hearing?
We picked this up from the post office, 12/27. That's the only thing we've been given was this right here. Notice of the hearing.
Okay, and you were not served with anything by a process server?
I think somebody gave, and all it said was, that there would be a hearing, and that wasn't very long ago either, and it said that we violated the order multiple times, and continue to violate it and not stay within 10 feet.
Nope. I don't want to hear any of that right now. I'm just determining if we're going to go forward with this hearing.
For a continuance I need the evidence against me, and I need to prepare for a defense.
Okay,
We
so.
weren't allowed to defend ourselves in the beginning, and we want to defend ourselves now.
And, Ms. Preston, I'm going to stop you there because certainly this magistrate held that full hearing. This magistrate gave each party a full opportunity to present their testimony and evidence. I appreciate that you may not have presented the evidence now that you feel now is relevant, but at that full hearing, you were given full opportunity. So we are not going to go backwards. We are only going forwards from this point. Mr. Heller, did you get that information?
I'm sorry, Your
If you
Honor, I
did
was
not,
paying
that's
attention to
fine.
what she was saying.
Okay. So, at this point, I am denying the request for continuance. This hearing will go forward today as scheduled. This matter was filed on the court's docket on December 22nd with the date of the hearing. The motion to show cause was filed by the defendant on December 8th. The motion for contempt was filed on the clerk of court's docket on December.
All right. That was just to give you a little sample of what this woman's like. Later shows we'll go over more of this stuff. I want to get that deposition play for you. That's freaking hysterical. You're not a nice person. My mother died. My mother didn't die. And yes, she does say her mother died, and when the lawyer questions her, my mother didn't die. Johns, get away from the window. This woman lived in a shack with a 4-year-old. I should say a shed. She pooped in a bucket, like a 5-gallon paint bucket. That's what her toilet was. And she was proud of it. Look at my pretty little poop bucket. This judge, not this one. That was the Ohio judge that you were just listening to. Like I said, if you guys want, I'll go into more depth. But right now, there's enough people covering it. I just had to touch it because this is scary. I live in Florida, and I know this happens in every state. Every state's going to have a judge like this. He should not be allowed to continue. And I hope to God, because there's people complaining and filing complaints with the appropriate places. This woman also has a turtle rescue on her property. She has a 501c3, and she runs this turtle rescue, and she's on disability. She just last night was putting up GoFundMe's, Venmo, PayPal, using her 501c3 company to raise money. And she was saying she was raising that money for her personal lawyers because she needs lawyers now for Ohio, because now she has contempt charges against her because she's violated the CPO civil protection order multiple times. Her and Crook have. There's still the case in Florida, which is going on, that is now actually in an appeals court to remove the judge. Mr. Hales has paid over $125,000 in legal fees because this judge has dragged this case on. It should have been thrown out. She didn't even sign some of the documents that are supposed to be signed. There was no violence, no nothing. She caused all this, and she's one of those people that start shit, and when someone goes back at them, they start playing the victim. And from listening to her stepdaughters talk, and yes, her stepdaughters have come forward, and horror stories that have come out, the physical abuse, the verbal abuse, the mental abuse this woman did to them. One of the stories that the stepdaughter gave, that she came home and the bus driver gave her a candy bar because it was Halloween. And she lost it on the stepdaughter. Screaming, yelling, accusing. Well, she didn't know that there was a social worker standing right outside listening to everything. When she walked down and said, "Oh, hi, how you doing? I didn't know you were coming today." And then when the social worker was like, "I heard everything. Nope, you ain't pulling that shit." Well, fine, fucking take her. But the stepdaughters have talked. Every time she gets called on her shit, she starts screaming sexual assault. I know YouTube don't like those terms. Listen, it's the legal term. She starts throwing those accusations around. Because most men are going to back down. She makes a lot of false accusations against men that usually scare the shit out of men to back them down. And her whole life, people, she's been doing it. She has a pattern of this action. It's disgusting. It's repulsive. And this judge has fallen for hook, line, and sinker. And he's acted like her attorney not the judge. With one of the when Jeremy's attorney filed for the judge to recuse himself, the judges are supposed to put just answer it, appealed or motion denied. No, he wrote a 5-page, single-spaced response, which that within itself is ground for dismissal. She had Jeremy's now suing her in Crook in federal court because he is domiciled in Ohio. She is domiciled in Florida. Yes, he does come down here. He's a snowbird, but his residency is in Ohio. Now, she's trying to have it thrown out, claiming that he lives in Florida. Because I see him around and I see his video. But yet she testified she doesn't watch his videos. This woman lies. And you know what? You want to know why I stopped when I was younger? Why I stopped lying? Because I was too stupid to remember all my fucking lies. And they always came back to bite me in my ass. Oh, man, time just flies by. It's ridiculous. And people have bowed down to this woman. And this is a reflection on society nowadays. Women make these accusations and people back down. Because once those accusations are out there, you can never take them back. It's sickening. Absolutely sickening. I don't know. It's her they're divorced now. John Crook and Lynette are divorced. And the scuttlebutt is they divorced because he was losing benefits from his ex-wife. Oh. I never did. Let me see something. I'm hoping I'm streaming. It'd be a real bitch if I was just sitting here talking to myself again. Let's see what else I can throw in here real quick before time is up. What else? We talked about AOC. This popped up. Georgia judge is set hearing to consider dismissing Trump case on free speech, Graham. Now, if you remember, in the Georgia case, they already dropped multiple charges. And now there's a hearing set, I believe it's for Thursday, to discuss free speech. Listen, he has the right to go out there and say whether he felt that it was the election was stolen from. Democrats have been doing it for decades. Do I have that video? Let me see if I have that video. Yes, I do have it. Let me play this video. Let me get it set up. All right. Like I said, still trying to get used to the software, so please bear with me. All right, how does that look?
You can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
That's Hillary Clinton.
How can you win with Russian interference, though?
That's a real
what I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate?
Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered.
Russia interfered with our election, attacked our democracy
Extreme
for the sole
Hakeem.
purpose of artificially placing someone at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They were successful.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. I want to welcome back David Brody. David, that was just one of 24 minutes of Democrats denying election results. In fact, every single Democrat president, in fact, since 1977, has questioned the legitimacy of U.S. elections. This, according to the Republican National Committee. So why do so many people suddenly seem not to care when a Democrat says something like that, and yet if you even as much associate with Trump or ask for a phone number, you could be charged?
Yeah, well, it's a great question, and I think there's a simple answer. We not only have a two-tiered system of justice, we have a two-tiered media system that is clearly prejudiced against conservative, patriotic Americans who are independent and critical thinkers. And that is a long line, but it's true. I mean, I didn't say conservative Americans, because there are a lot of conservative Americans that are also sheep in this country that will just go along with whatever it is, whatever the company line is. But there are independent thinkers, the MAGA audience, the patriotic audience, this audience that understands the real deal. And, you know, Miranda, you talk about the 24 minutes of videotape. And, of course, I'm sure they could string together a whole lot more. But you're right. This has been going on for a very long time. Here's one instance well, there's so many instances. But let me just bring up 2004. I mean, John Kerry lost to George W. Bush. But at the time, Democrats and the far left, Howard Dean of the Democratic National Committee, all of the big top Democrats were not only complaining, but saying that the election was rigged and stolen in Ohio. They questioned the voting machines. There was a documentary made on it, Miranda. HBO, we should do this in the show tomorrow. I've got the clips. We should. I've got the evidence. I've got the tape. I got the receipts.
You've got the proof. You've got the truth.
I got it. Now I feel like Gotti. But anyhow, look, there was a documentary put out by HBO called Hacking Democracy. It was nominated for an Emmy to expose some of the problems with voting machines and how the election is not secure in America. That was in 2004 by HBO, the liberals. And that got an Emmy Award, or a nomination for an Emmy Award. But Donald Trump and others want to talk about that now, and no, you're thrown in jail. And that's the difference, Miranda.
And that's exactly right. That is the difference. Democrats and the American people are waking up to it, and they're getting sick and fucking tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of the two-tier justice. We've watched the president's son strut around breaking law after law that would put us, everyday people, in jail. We would not be afforded the luxuries that he is given. The drug addict. And it just reminded me, there is a idiot that I see on Facebook or Twitter all the time. And Democrat, they just flock to him. And he's out there bashing Trump. And I'm not going to give him any publicity. I'm not going to say his name. But this is the type of people that Democrats rally around. He sold his kids for crack. Now, he's cleaned up over the years. He's supposedly made up with his family over it. Let me tell you, you sold me for crack. I am never fucking forgiving you. And you're the last person that should be out there bashing anybody. You should be on your knees praying and just asking for forgiveness every single day. But no, the Democrats rally around people like that. They rally around child pedophiles, criminals. This is what confuses me. They sit there and they're for abortion. They're for the murdering of kids. All the way up to, and they'll try denying it, but the laws they put forth say exact opposite, all the way up to the moment of birth and sometimes after birth that you can abort the poor kid. But yet they'll protect murderers. They're against the death penalty. This guy murdered 100 people. Oh, we need to forgive him. Let's give him a little psychological evaluation and put him back out in the public. He's good to go. Oh, you're pregnant? Abort the little fucker. I'm sorry, I can't take you serious when you do that shit. Oh, illegal immigrants? Yeah, they can carry guns. Oh, you Americans? Hell no. We don't want you carrying guns. Yeah. Well, that's it for this show. I'll be back Friday. I'm definitely going to do Friday. I think I might do Monday and Friday. I'm still working it out schedule-wise. But I might do 2 days a week, Monday and Friday. Because Mondays I got the long weekend shits happen. Friday is when a lot of shit drops because they like to hide stuff. So I'll see you guys Friday. And I want to thank everybody for watching.